Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is WDIL, and welcome back to another Why Did I Lose? And today we're going to be playing Graves. Now I know there was another Graves video just the other day, but to be honest, I don't have that much varied content for Why Did I's right now. And I have plenty of Graves losses. So, those two things mean that we're going to do Graves for this video. So here are the runes, and here are the masteries. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay, so here we are in the game, and first things first, the music that you're going to be hearing in the background is the Nobsta Blocks theme remix by Glitch City. That's an Undertale remix, actually. I haven't played Undertale. I know a lot about it, but that's not important. The link's going to be in the description below, but this song sounded really cool. I actually saw it in somebody else's video, and I said, I'm taking that. So we're listening to it for this video. And I'm really tired right now. So that means that one of two things could happen. Either one, I miss a lot of stuff, which I doubt's actually going to happen. Or two, I might just go really quickly and maybe crack some more jokes or something. I don't know. Just, you know, a little bit more lighthearted, I guess, while you're tired. I think a lot of people are like that. But anyways, this game was super frustrating. I remember it was actually a while ago. It was a week and a half ago or something like that. It's been a long time. But it was one of those games where you look at your score after the game, and then all that you can think of is, well, I did my best. Why wasn't I able to carry my team? Or, you know, you're not thinking that. You're thinking, God, my team made me lose. But those are exactly the kind of games that we should be talking about in Why Did I Loses, and what you guys should be thinking if you are watching your own replays. Remember, there is a link to Baron replays in the description below. I've added that to my description copy pasta. If you guys didn't know, and this is what every YouTuber does, we have a descript, like, you know, we'll write maybe a sentence or two at the beginning, and then everything after that is just a copy paste format, just every time. So I've added the Baron replays link though, so it will be in the bottom of all my videos from now on. And oh yeah, we hit 1,000 subs, and there's a video about that on my channel. If you missed it, there's also a link to it in the description below. But make sure you've watched it. And we've already talked a lot about Graves in the Graves Live. But basically, you get your Q at level 1, try to make it hit terrain as much as possible. You get your E at level 2, because your E is not only an auto reset, but it also gives you another ammo. So that way you can auto E in, and then you'll have 2 autos, and you'll be closer to your target. And then just remember, you need to shift click back and forth. As you can see down here, I haven't even used the health pot yet, and I'm full life. Graves jungle, clearing wise, is so easy, but actually impacting the map is a little bit more difficult. So now that now that I've been talking for 2 minutes about not the game, let's see the team comps. So our mid laner is Annie, and she's versus Yasuo. That's actually a really good lane to gank, because if I gank mid, what happens is we get our AP fed, and I'm an AD threat that's fed, and Yasuo doesn't really have any escapes other than dashing through a lot of things. So mid shouldn't be too bad, but he did take cleanse, so he's kind of prepared for this. Annie is not at the health to do this gank. I come in way too early. All that happens is I make Annie miss a CS, and now she got a little low from tanking minions. I can 1v1 this Yasuo, that is true, and that's what I'm doing right now, because I have a red buff. And he didn't take a real combat summoner, he took cleanse, but cleanse doesn't do anything against Graves, so that's why I chase him all around. This wasn't necessarily a bad gank, per se, because I did get Yasuo about half health and relieved a little bit of pressure off an Annie, but all in all, I could have been doing something else. I should have just completely been farming. Graves clears very quickly if you let him. If you waste a lot of time farming on Graves, then you're playing, I mean not farming, if you waste a lot of time ganking on Graves, then you're really not playing him right. And I'm just going to speed it up, except for when we, okay, so here, the Yasuo kills the Annie, it's really close, he flashes away from me, and then this was a huge mistake on my part. I actually flashed directly towards him. If I had flashed directly towards the turret, he probably would have missed his Q, and would have been a lot more higher chance of me getting him, but that is just hypothetical. He might have still hit his Q anyways, but point being, you shouldn't flash straight towards someone in that scenario. If the turret is at an angle from you, and they're going to be running to the turret, so say me and Yasuo were kind of on a box, and you're not missing anything, I'm just farming. Say me and Yasuo are like on a box, and I'm on this corner, and Yasuo is on this corner. Now I could flash to the Yasuo, and he runs down, and then we're kind of the same distance. Or I could flash towards the turret, and then Yasuo runs down, and then we're right next to each other. Which, of course, the box wasn't like this. It was kind of different. And you guys probably don't even... I doubt many of you at all understood what I was saying right there, but if you did, you have been enlightened. Because it does make a big difference, but... You know, I'm not going to draw on the screen a bunch of lines to show you guys. I could hold a ruler up, but you guys wouldn't see that. So, anyways, now I'm farming. I am going to go top here. Top isn't that bad of lane to gank either. Once again, Teemo doesn't really have any escapes, and Darius has some good CC. It's not insanely well, but against Teemo it's not too bad, because all he has to do is run into Teemo. Teemo, since he's been winning lane this whole time, he's going to think that Darius is insane and that he's just going to 1v1 the Darius, so that's what happens, and then I come in and we kill the Teemo, so that's good. Now, as far as the game is going, it's fine right now. It's definitely winnable for our team, but as you can see, my bot lane is losing a duel, and this Ezreal, he needs to get out of here right now. Yeah, they just got pretty much owned. So there's two things that we can do in this game to try and win. One, we can just power farm really, really harshly, and then try to just carry into the late game, but that's not really going to work, because I'm an AD jungler, we have an AD top, and we have an AD carry, the exception being Corki there. You guys, you guys get it. So basically, even if I get super farmed up, they're still going to build armor. All they have to do is build armor and remove Annie, and then they get free team fights. So what I really need to do is not farm insanely this game. I need to just gank mid over and over and over. I am going to be going to build I showed in the live grave, so I'm going to get a Frozen Mallet early, and that's going to help me gank mid. But still, just keep camping mid. Annie has the CC to make the gank work. All I have to do is provide some damage, which Graves certainly can do. So now I'm coming mid, I'm cutting the Yasuo off. Annie does not have her stun stacked up, unfortunately. But I think we get him anyways. Yeah, we get the Yasuo here because I got a red smite on him. And then, just gonna go back to jungling. I got deja vu there because this game was, of course, one of the ones that I was gonna record for the live. I didn't end up using it, but I pretty much said the exact same thing about the Yasuo thing when I was actually recording it the first time. That's not important. We'll go ahead and speed it up. This is why we're not doing it live. Because I was getting... If I had actually uploaded this, I think I almost did upload this one. I don't remember. It's really not important, but this game made me very unhappy. We'll leave it at that. But, so right now, what I'm doing is farming my jungle and scuttle crabs. Scuttle crabs are good. What I really need to do this whole game is get the scuttle crabs whenever I can, because they provide pretty good vision, and I can tell my team where Lee Sin is, so he doesn't out pressure the map. And then, other than that, and then I catch Lee Sin in my blue. I can 1v1 Lee Sin. I was actually pretty far ahead. Well, we're about the same, but Lee Sin, basically, if you get caught in someone's jungle, you almost always have to run, no matter what, when you're invading. So that's what Lee Sin does. He played it correctly, but just so happened that Annie came around with her ult, and I had my ult and everything, and we just bursted him down, and I get the blue. Hindsight, if I could have given that to Annie, that would have been better, but she led with her Tibbers, so she led with almost all of her damage, and then she wasn't going to be able to secure it, so whatever. It would be better if I get the blue on Annie, but what we need to do this game is get my buffs, get scuttle crabs, and gank mid. That's it. That's all we have to do this game is mid. It's almost like the reverse of, if you guys saw the Why Did You Lose, where I spectated somebody else's game. We need to do what he did to the Tom. So if you've seen that video, you'll know what I'm talking about. But, like right now, she has her stun. She's doing okay in lane, and it's not about if she's gonna win lane or not. That's not the point. The point is that if we can get me and Annie fed enough, then we're gonna be able to win this game. And realistically, there's not another way that we can win this game. We could get Darius really fed because he's kind of our front line, and he does do a lot of true damage, but all in all, that's kind of unreliable compared to just getting Annie fed and then she ults at the beginning of a fight and we just win because she does so much damage. So here, I went and farmed my Gromp, I think. Yeah, I have the Gromp buff. And then I come to secure my red because I didn't want Lee Sin to steal it, and then as you can see, Lee Sin did start it. But that just means that I'm going to jump on him. So you can wait. A lot of people would probably try to wait and steal it from the Lee Sin, but if it's against a Lee Sin, that's really not what you should be trying to do, because Lee Sin has an excellent execute on his Q. So don't try to steal it from Lee Sin, just try to engage him as soon as possible. So I think I waited for him to use some spells and then I jumped on him. He runs away, Teemo comes in and I think Graves outed the Raptors or something there. I don't know. Basically, as soon as Teemo came in, I was kind of zoned. Darius does get the kill on Yosa, that's pretty good for him. And then I play it kind of safe. I smite the Teemo because if Teemo is... Sorry, I burped there. If Teemo did fight me, I wanted to at least smite him so that I didn't take a ton of damage from him, but what ended up happening is he ran, because that's probably a smart play, and then we're going to get the Lee Sin. So overall, this game is looking pretty good, and my score is looking fantastic. And like I said, this is one of those games where you guys are going to see my final score, and it's going to look great, and it's going to be one of those games that, you know, normally you play it, and then afterwards you just think, oh god, my team made me lose that, but not always the case. So I'm just going to speed it up because I don't want this video to be super long. There's really not going to be that much to talk about other than I should have spent all my free time mid. And even though I've always told you guys to jungle in sweeps, you guys know what a sweep is. Basically, if I wanted to kill these wolves for some reason, I would need to kill Gromp first and then go do the wolves. And that's almost always true. And I want you guys to do that pretty much all the time until you learn when you shouldn't be doing that. And then this game is one of the cases where I shouldn't have been doing it, simply because our only win condition is if this Annie gets fed, because the rest of us are AD and Blitzcrank doesn't really do any damage. So in rare cases like that where farming and sweeps is going to hinder your win condition, then you don't need to do it, but I really don't expect most of you guys to be able to analyze that in a game that you're playing. Afterwards you could probably get it, because myself, I didn't even analyze what our win condition was this game, and that's why I didn't play towards it. So long story short, I want you guys to farm and sweeps. And then here, a fed Graves is a fed Graves. So if you run onto somebody near or in the jungle at all, there's going to be all these walls for you to use your Q off of. And remember, the Graves combo, quote, quote, is just Q ult. And if that doesn't kill them, you need to auto attack them. If you want some more talking about how to play Graves, make sure you watch the Graves live if you haven't already. This video is going to be almost all about game knowledge and analyzing how to win games. Not going to be too much about Graves himself. But yeah, long story short, I want you guys to farm and sweep still, but when you get good enough, you'll realize that sometimes farming and sweeps is not what you always want to do. But as for you guys, until you get like plat 1, just do that, because you're not going to know. Not to offend, but really this isn't something that you guys will understand, but well, you might understand it, but it's not something that you've experienced, is a better way for me to say it. Basically, the jump from like bronze 5 to bronze 1 is about the same as the jump from plat 3 to plat 1, if that makes sense. Basically, the higher up you go on League is a funnel system. That's why if you've ever looked up statistics of how many players are in any league, you'll know that the vast majority of the players are in silver and bronze, and then it starts going lower the higher you go. That's what I mean by a funnel. So basically, and what that means is people get a lot better, a lot faster, the higher you get. So the difference between Diamond 5 and Diamond 4, for example, is comparable to the difference between Bronze 5 and like Silver 3 or something, the skill gap, because that's just how the funnel system works. And I don't remember why I was talking about this, but fun fact for you guys, I guess. I have no idea why I was talking about this. We can get back to the game. I kind of strayed way off topic there. Whatever. It's not important. Oh yeah, it is. It was because I was talking about the analyzing what a win condition is. That's why I'm saying, unless if you're like plat 1, don't worry about it, because we'll stop talking about it. So this game, it's looking pretty grim. I'm 5-0-1. I have a beautiful score. But mid lane, I failed to get this Annie ahead. She's barely doing anything. Blitzcrank gets a good pull here. We are going to kill the Bard, and we're going to siege this turret. That's another thing I did wrong this game, and I actually mentioned this in, I think, the Shyvana live. Yeah, I actually mentioned this before. You need to make sure you're getting turrets, and on someone like Graves, Graves is actually very good at killing turrets. You might not think so because he only gets 2 shots every few turns, but if you're close to the turret, you do a ton of damage to it. Okay, it doesn't actually say how much damage you do. I didn't think it would, but basically Graves is really good at killing turrets, and that's something that you have to do on him, because he's not good at ganking. He doesn't have any CC, so he's not going to be a good ganker. So instead, you need to try to at least get turrets. Maybe you don't get a kill when you gank, but you push the target out, and then you take the turret. Taking a turret can only help you if you're watching my videos. There are certain turret mechanics that make a big difference in really high elo games, but in all of my games, so I know for all of y'all's guys' games, taking a turret can only benefit you. I don't care if your teammates tell you to stop. If you can take it on your own, do it. If you can't take it without them, don't die to try to take it. But basically, taking a turret will always benefit you. And then here, Lee Sin was in my jungle. I can 1v1 Lee Sin, but I was pretty sure if he was around that he had his team around. Make sure you guys are paying attention to that when you're playing. Just because you're really strong doesn't mean you should go for every fight you get, because even though I can 1v1 Lee Sin, I can't 2v1 Lee Sin and Yasuo, right? So you just gotta watch out for that stuff. And we're gonna speed it up to at least 4 times speed. No, at least 2 times speed, I mean. Okay. As soon as I speed it up, something happens. But basically what happened is they turret dove us. They turret dove the Blitzcrank, and they did kill the Blitzcrank, but then Annie came in with her ult. Well, not her ult, but she came in with a stun, then I came in with my ult. I think I ulted. No. Okay, basically they just had a really messy turret dive then, and then we cleaned them up. And here I catch up with the Caitlyn. She still has her sums, and I actually flashed onto her just because I wanted to get the red buff to start slowing her. Because I know that if red buff is slowing her, she's going to have to use one of her spells. So you don't always want to use one of your summoner spells when you're chasing someone. You usually want to use them defensively, but if you can almost guarantee that using yours will get one of theirs, it's not that bad of a bet to use it. So I used it on the Caitlyn, and as you can see, she actually kept her flash, but also, just remember, Graves' Q takes a lot of practice, I should say. I clipped it right here on the Dragon Pit. Even though overall Graves is an extremely easy champion, it does pay off if you pay really close attention to where you can and cannot Q, and then doing that's just gonna help you in the long run. Here I'm pushing the bot lane turret, but then I don't see anyone. As you guys can see, there's no one on the map. So when that happens, you need to leave. Everyone. These guys are even out of place, but since they're all almost grouped, it's not that bad. But if you're ever pushing a lane and then everyone disappears from your minimap, it's time to go. So that's why I left. I'm sure that they were coming to gank me. I go back to base, and I finally have my mallet. And I'm going to be going for the Black Cleaver. And Black Cleaver was very important in this game because, like we already mentioned, we have 3 ADs. So, Black Cleaver, I definitely don't regret getting it. I don't regret my build this game because Darius was our only frontline. So if I can get pretty frontliney on Graves and stay alive for a whole fight, that's going to benefit us the most throughout the game. So the build-wise, I still think I was on point. Some people might argue that just going a full damage Graves build is always better, but I don't like playing him like that, as you guys know if you've seen the live, so I don't really care what those people say. I'm going to play Graves how I like to play him. The build is not why I lost. Why I lost is because it's 20 minutes in the game, and my Annie does not have a single kill. She's already died 4 times. And my Ezreal only has 1 kill. Ezreal is actually doing okay, but Blitzcrank kind of died many times. Really and truly, it just comes down to pressuring the right lanes and pressuring them, like we already talked about on Graves. Pressuring doesn't mean necessarily ganking and getting a kill. It can also mean taking a turret. Here, our Annie's going to flash in and then use her ult to start the team fight, and then we try to follow up. What happens is the enemy team, I'm actually going to rewind it. I know you guys don't like it when I rewind it, but we're going to watch this in slow motion because the enemy team disengaged this almost perfectly. So watch what happens. Annie's going to flash ult in. And since she flashes in, we already are going to have trouble following up on that since she flashed in. She does hit a 3-man stun, and on very important targets, it was a good stun. But here comes the Yasuo cleanse. Yasuo cleanses the Annie stun, so already that's bad for us. Then Bard's going to place his ult where we're all going to be so that we're not going to do any damage. And on top of that, Yasuo throws his wall in this corridor to where me and Graves can't do any damage. So basically, long story short, they perfectly disengaged this fight. On paper, it looks great, and Annie probably thought she did a really good job, but flashing in when we couldn't all flash after her and in this tight corridor is going to benefit their team because the Yasuo wind wall comes in, we can't do any damage, Ardle disengages us, and here's where we kind of knew that we lost this game. Scores are even, but when you get a 3-man Annie stun, you don't get a single kill out of it. you know things are grim. It is because of where the fight happened. A better case scenario would be in a lane, just because lanes are usually bigger than jungle corridors. You guys know that. And if Annie did not flash in, because since she flashed in, we couldn't really follow up on it. So anyways, they're probably going to take... They take this turret bottom. They kill the Annie. Blitzcrank kills the Teemo. Good on him. I come in with my mallet, and I'm going to get a kill here since I have my mallet. Just having a frozen mallet alone means that they can't really run from me. And it turns out it's going to be Caitlyn. Caitlyn stayed too long to auto me. I think she... Well, Caitlyn's kind of fed, and she probably thought in her mind that she would be able to kill a half-health Graves. But little did she know this Graves has 2,500 life, so I'm not going to die to 2 shots from a Caitlyn. So, kill her, and I go top to clear. This isn't a problem. Really, this game's already lost at this point. That's really bad thinking, and don't ever think that in a game, because there are ways that we can win, but realistically, as long as the enemy team doesn't do anything too stupid, we probably won't end up winning this one. Our win conditions are basically ward up our whole jungle. We need more red trinkets on our team and pink wards because they have a Teemo, so we need to get rid of Teemo's shrooms. And also, we just need to try to catch them doing something they shouldn't. So if somebody tries to backdoor an inhib, catch them there. If they try to go for Baron, catch them there. We do still need bot turret. Our Darius has a teleport, so we could send Darius bottom. That would be pretty good just to get a turret out of the way. Every turret you get counts, and every turret gets you closer to actually winning the game. But I think pretty soon Teemo's going to start obliterating me every single fight. She hasn't yet, and he doesn't kill me very much, but I'm pretty sure really soon Teemo starts zoning me out of every team fight. And that's my bad. I don't regret building what I built, but I should have probably got a Maw before I got a Black Cleaver, because it is going to make a difference pretty soon. I distinctly remember Teemo giving me the you-know-what. So, we'll just see. I should have built a Maw first and then go for the Black Cleaver. The thing about Black Cleaver is, while it's really good on Graves, it is super expensive. It's 3,500 gold for a Black Cleaver. So, Maw, in terms of gold efficiency, is just much better. And that lifeline passive would have kept me alive longer in fights too. So overall, I do regret not going Maw second this game. See, just kind of farming, getting up wards, making sure no one gets caught. I do have the Baron warded here, so our team's going to back if they need to. Let's see, can I afford? I cannot afford my Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver is so stupid. I think it costs 1150 when you have these 2 items, so that's what I'm doing right now, just farming up as much as I can. Probably going to go do the Raptors too. And kill the ward, and kill my Krugs. Oh yeah, the reason, I remember talking about this when I was recording this game the first time. The reason that I'm farming back and forth these 2 camps and top lane is because Baron's up, and if they get Baron, they're going to end the game. So when that happens as a jungler, you need to try to stay near the Baron. That's why, if you've ever seen, you guys probably know this, if your jungler's like farming bot when Baron's live, that almost always loses the game instantly. And then here I back because I can finally get almost get my Black Cleaver, and in the meantime my team gets in a fight. So that's pretty just bad luck. There's not a whole ton I could have done. I come in and I almost get the Teemo. He gets away with almost no HP. In hindsight, I probably should have came around and started fighting Caitlyn immediately, but at this point, even when as soon as I got here, it was looking kind of grim for me to do anything. I'm not really going to take the blame there, because what I was doing was preventing Baron. My team just didn't have vision to be where they were, but I guess I can take some blame. I wasn't technically grouped with my team, and if I had been there, things would have probably gone a lot better for our team, so I can take some of the blame for that, sure. Here, Caitlyn has a Phantom Dancer, and it's a 2v1, so there's almost nothing I can do here. As you know, Phantom Dancer lowers the damage you do to a target, so with that, I'm not going to be able to kill the Caitlyn. I am going to have to flash here so that I don't die for no reason. Lee Sin did have his ult, as he used on Ezreal, and if he had ulted me, I would have died. Waiting up in base, but like I said, at this point, the game's pretty much over. It's not straight up over. It could still be won, theoretically, but realistically, we're not going to win it because we only have 2 turrets this late. We don't have a team that's that great at taking turrets late in the game. We don't really have a siege comp because we have 2 low-ranged AD carries. And their team comp's just better than ours also in general because Lee Sin hits a decent ult, Yasuo follows up. Graves can, Teemo can completely nullify me, which he will soon. And then Caitlyn stays way in the back and just kills us. Team comp wise, they beat us. Early game pressure. Obviously, you should expect a Lee Sin to do more than a Graves early. If you guys don't expect that, then you haven't been paying attention to my videos because I've said it several times. Lee Sin's the best early game jungler, and if you're playing Lee Sin, you have to impact the map early more than your enemy jungler, or else you played Lee Sin wrong. He can always do more, other than Nidalee, maybe, but most of you guys' games, that's not going to happen. So you should expect Lee Sin to do more than Graves, but what Graves can do better than Lee Sin is push turrets. So I could have gotten a lot more turrets early, didn't actually. That put us behind, didn't camp Annie. And right now I'm just saying the same stuff over and over, so we're just going to speed it up. The enemy team starts the Baron, and by the time we notice they're doing it, it's almost dead. I come in to try to make something happen. Darius initiates the fight. I throw in my Q and my ult. I blow up the Yasuo, and then now I have to be on the retreat because our whole front line's just getting obliterated. I think Teemo actually blinded me that fight, and that's why I didn't do too much. And this is where Teemo was completely destroying me in the team fights. And Lee Sin jumps in. I can kill this Lee Sin just depending on how the fight goes. I dodge his Q with my E, but then Caitlyn sells her ult, so she's just going to ult me to zap me. And Teemo's ending the game. And it is over because I can't even speed it up anymore. So, we already talked about what I did to not win. So I'm not going to say it all again. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out the description. We can watch them destroy the Nexus. It's going to say victory, but this was one of those 8-2-4. You know, that's the kind of score that you look at and you just cry that you lost. But it's because I didn't do enough early on Graves, which it's hard to do, but it is possible. So, what were we talking about as far as the, oh yeah, the description. So, there's a link to Baron Replays if you want to record your games. There's the 1000 sub video, sub play day announcement. There's my Twitter if you want to follow me there. Subscribe, like, all that stuff that every YouTuber has to say at the end of their videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.